Alright, hey there everyone, Sari here, and welcome to the channel update video. Might need to do a bit of technical corrections here at the start. It doesn't play nice with BlueStacks for some reason. There we are. Alright. Okay, so now that we've got that sorted, welcome to the channel update stream. I usually do these as a pre-recorded video, but I wanted to do this one as a live stream just to go over some of the defenses and have a little bit more interesting stuff going on during this. Just to start, I am going to probably be shortening the AR videos a bit over the next couple of months. I'm mostly going to focus on the highlight matches, just to kind of cut down on the amount of time I need to spend putting videos together. I'm not too sure about the format yet. I might do one match per video with potentially multiple videos a week, or just two or three matches in a video. And I might end up doing the defense replays on streams every Monday like I'm doing today. So if you enjoy the defense recap when we get there, let me know. The reason I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to start doing quite a bit of streaming over the next couple of months. I'll be starting with a stream of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, starting this Thursday, actually. And it's a day ahead of the actual release, just so that I can play through the demo chapters ahead of the release and then jump right into the new stuff. I'll be going down the Scarlet Blaze route on hard mode and going for S ranks on every map, just to see if I can push it a little bit. And I'm expecting those streams to go on for about a week. After that, I'm going to start a Road to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'll be streaming playthroughs of each Xenoblade game for the month leading up to Xenoblade 3, starting with the Definitive Edition and going into Future Connected, and then continuing on with Xenoblade 2 into Torna the Golden Country. If by some miracle I actually finish Torna and have time to spare, I'll also dive into Xenoblade Chronicles X to fill in the gap. The series is easily one of my all-time favorites, and I'm hoping to be able to share that with anyone who's interested. It won't be a 100% playthrough. I just don't think there's enough time before Xenoblade 3 releases to manage that, but it should be a fun reminder of the stories, characters, music, worlds that make the games so memorable. I do think these games are best experienced firsthand, but if you don't plan on playing them or have played them already, I hope this will be a fun way to experience them. Oh, and I did actually have these on the side just for anyone who's tuning in later, so that way people can just check on the highlights and ask questions if they're curious. And now, let's go ahead and dive into the defense replays for the week. The defense actually did pretty well overall. It was good to see. I did make a couple of updates to this since the defense video that I released a few days ago, most notably including Fallen Ninian. I actually added her to the defense in her bonus week, and was really happy with how well she worked out. After that, I replaced her weapon with a Lantern Breath, since the extra hit points are really important to make sure that she doesn't get isolated by Fjorm, which turns off a lot of the threat of the map. I also included Duocorin. Mine's actually plus 10 with the Ascended Speed asset now, so she's a very solid threat, and pairs nicely with Lakearn, since she's a mage, and Lakearn uses physical damage, which makes it a lot harder for any single tank to wall them both out. Gatekeeper's still being his usual obnoxious self, and Saros is basically just trying to be a wall to make it harder for people to actually get into the team. Mirabilis is here as the backup dancer, and the combination of Phantom Res and Res Tactic actually makes it very hard to false start Ninian, or Mirabilis herself. So it's a pretty nice combination there. Felix, as usual, is here to just try to keep the team safe from ranged threats. It can be a little bit tricky since he's, I don't think he's as effective as someone like Brave Hector is, but I have him built and Hector not so much, so still here, and he does a pretty good job of actually threatening some red tanks as well, just thanks to his decent enough speed stat and special fighter. Like I was saying earlier too, the defense actually did pretty well this week. I think we only had a couple of losses so far in the entire week, and only one of them was an actual clean loss. So it's great to see it doing this well. It's honestly really nice. So let's see what this first one was. Oh, right. This was one that I got to share in the experience of one of the people on the Discord with 2 different L mines backing up this +6 legendary Tiki who's in season. I do like the double distant defenses that she has here. It really makes her hard to break through. And having Lyn on the side is just a great way to clean things up with whatever's left from Tiki and the Idun, who's here for their near save backup. They've also got Reagan as their bonus mythic. Yeah, and honestly, just 2 L mines is a lot. It's very hard to actually punch through that. Yeah, no savvy fighter for their Idun. That's okay. I actually expected Leikern to go in on this, but actually it didn't end up being Leikern who went for this at all. It was Corrin, who actually ends up pulling this off without getting any bonuses from Gatekeeper, who ran off to the side to use his rally. And even without a feud skill, she can just break through that. It was very impressive. A Summer Edelgard, I think, is going to be a really strong Farsaver with right build and skills. She'd probably crush both Leikern and Corrin, honestly, so it'll be interesting to see if she turns up as a near saver in my replays, or a Farsaver, rather. I think most people are going to go with near save for her, since she doesn't have distant counter in her weapon, but I could see it going either way. I'm actually very interested to give her Farsave myself and play around with that. Alright, so this next replay was, this isn't the sort of loss that I'm worried about, and don't usually look at these as ways to improve the defense. They brought along a Windsweep Lyn and Gale Force, or not Gale Force, I'm sorry, Wings of Mercy on Reagan, and also this Windsweep Ashura, which is pretty cool. It does make it a lot safer for Ashura to take advantage of her weapon and just attack safely, along with 3 different dancers in the Duo Seeker, Duo Peony, and Plumeria. This one I think they took a couple of turns just figuring out their approach. And honestly, no, right, they did go in on the second turn here. I think they just wanted to get things moving. Lyn's never going to be able to do damage to Felix. But they have enough dances that they can just poke in, get back out, and retreat to safety. One of the reasons I do like Ninian here too is just her ability to turn off pre-charged specials. Yeah, I've been really liking the feud on Leikern. It's a nice way to help her deal with Thor support, and together with Guard can usually shut down a way for anything to actually recharge a special. Like, you know, the Hardy Fighter Hectors and various other Hardy Fighters. This part was a little bit silly to watch. They basically just have Lyn go in on Seros since she's out of range of Felix, and while she can't do too much damage at a time, she can eventually take Seros down just because of, well, having so many backup dancers. From there, though, they don't really have too many options. They can get Reagan in here to take down Corrin. Hey there, Ishmael. Welcome to the stream. But the Kanto control from Gatekeeper means she can't actually retreat back to the back line, and from here we're going to start picking more units off.
You are my one true.
And Felix has an Ignis, which is going to be more than enough to take Reagan down. I have thought about it. I'd really like to sort of reopen the nostalgia corner that I kind of abandoned last year. It's something I'm looking at. I probably won't get into anything beyond Three Hopes and Xenoblade over the next couple of months. But past that, I'd really like to start diving into the older games again, and I'd also very much like to stream some of Total Warhammer 3 at some point. I've really enjoyed that game, even with some of the issues it's had, so it should be fun. Red Feud is an interesting idea on Lake Erin. It's one of those skills that I think would be really great if we start seeing more red tanks, especially, like you mentioned, Henriette, who actually showed up again in this week's replays a couple of times. And she is a bit of a problem for this team. Although, I think if she ends up showing up too much, I might just switch Felix back to a more mixed phase build, which would let him just handle her a lot more easily than Corrin or Lake Erin can. I haven't, actually. I did play the Mario and Rabbids, which I've heard is very similar to XCOM, and I'm actually really looking forward to the new game of Mario and Rabbids that's coming out. But I haven't played the actual XCOM game itself, no. Xenoblade 3 is... I've been looking forward to that game ever since they announced it, and so far I have managed to stay almost completely blind about it. I've watched the announcement trailer and the release date trailer, and that is all I've seen of the game. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what exactly they do with it. I have not been disappointed by any of the games they've produced so far. And then this match, well, it's almost over.
But our mission...
And, well, Mirabilis ends up getting to secure a knockout for herself before they close things out. It's actually always funny to see Mirabilis get a knockout. Sadly, even all of her res and the defense tile is not going to save her from an Ashura. It's good to know. It's honestly the fact that people have told me it's so similar to the Mario and Rabbids game has me curious about it, just because I really genuinely enjoyed that game. So I might check it out at some point. Alright, moving on. Replay number 3. This one was an interesting one to see, mostly just because of this absolutely glorious Ninja Corrin. I'm honestly very impressed by this. It is really, really great to see. I don't know how well she can actually handle an enemy phase, even with the speed smoke. Mostly just because her weapon is very, very player phase, and doesn't do very much for her when she's tanking, but it can help her survive a combat or two. Hey there, Solar, welcome to the stream. They also backed that up with the other Duo Ninja unit in Lyn, along with a +7 Thor and +7 Azura, who works really, really well with Corrin, and Reagan, and I believe it's a +10 Plunaria. Yep. It's a really cool team, honestly, and they've got enough dances between Corrin, Lyn, Plumeria, and Azura to clear their way through basically anything they run into. Yep, that is indeed the plan, Ishmael. I am hoping to go in without any knowledge, well, any real knowledge of the game. Which is why I saw the announcement of the Direct earlier today, and I really want to watch it. I don't know that I will. So I think they ended up surrendering here just because, well, A, they got themselves into a bit of a tight spot, but I don't think their Corrin could actually knock out Felix here either, since his distant defense is cancelling out her bonuses, and deflect magic means the second hit doesn't finish her off, which means that without something like Wind Sweep, Felix is just going to throw an Ignis in her face and one-shot her, and Lyn is never going to knock Felix out without something else helping her before that happens. Scarlet and Violet I am keeping an eye on. I actually ended up skipping Sword and Shield. I would really love to actually play a mainline Pokemon game again. I really enjoyed Legends Arceus, so getting back into a mainline game would be a lot of fun for me. I'm keeping an eye on them. If they're looking like they've sort of tried at least to improve from Sword and Shield, then I'll probably pick them up and play them. This was another interesting one. They brought along a young Ike. I had a lot of fun with young Ike in his bonus week. I haven't talked myself into trying to merge him, but we'll see. They also brought along a hardy fighter Hector, using Breath instead of a Deflect Magic, and a Ninian to back him up with an Elamine on the side. Along with Asher and Reagan as Mythics. They just go right in here to start tanking this. I don't know so much about Ninian support for Hector here, since he does already have a Breath of his own. But it doesn't end up mattering here. After the dances come through, well, Hector's not in range to protect Ashura, so Corrin gets a free knockout there. I don't think it will be. I think we got enough 3 houses in this current summer banner. And even that Breath Seal is not going to help him when we have a guard effect. Bye, Hector. That just clean 78 hit. It's honestly great to see her basically one-shot the Hector with just Deadeye. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see another focus on 3 houses in this next summer banner. I could be wrong, but I think they do usually spread the games out a little bit between summer banners. What I do think we're going to see is some of the Book 5 heroes in the next summer banner.
Here I go.
A Guinevere Summer ult would be... I would love it, and at the same time I do not want to see it, because there are too many banners I want to pull on coming up, and I really do not want to spend too many orbs before CYL lands, and I know I probably will, so... But I definitely do expect to see some of the Nidavellir and... what was the other? Jotun heroes in the next summer banner. Summer Ash I don't think we'll get until next year. She is in the current book, and they tend to wait until after the book is finished to start giving them seasonals. I don't know who we would see though. We got everyone I think except Odor in the New Year's banner, so I guess we'll see. Oh, please don't do Summer Zelkius to me. We dodged a bullet here already, and technically it is Radiant Dawn, as well as 3 houses on the current banner, so I don't think we'll see Zelkius on the next one. I hope we see I think we'll see his dragon form at some point in the Fallen Banner.
Take this.
I actually really expected it this year, but it didn't turn out. We got Rhea instead. This was a bit of an odd match just to see them go quite this far into it. Especially when they ended up surrendering the match anyway. I think they just wanted to get it down to a couple of units before surrendering and moving on. Yeah. And after they have Lakeyarn and Corrin out of the way, there's not really much that's going to handle Ike. Although Seros does a pretty decent job of it. We have not. I don't think we've actually seen a Summer Valentia banner yet. Yeah, and Seros getting onto the defense tile here is... it's a lot. When you see your Ether doing 7 damage, it's Hey there, Yummy. Welcome to the stream. Summer Eliwood would be... oh, I don't think he'll get a Summer Eliwood this year. He did just get a Harmonic with Roy, so... I think it seems unlikely. Although we haven't gotten Summer Hector yet either, so that could be a thing. Summer Celica, that's another one I would love to see, but do not want to see, because, again, orbs. There are never enough orbs.
I'm right behind you.
Oh, Gatekeeper. And then that is where they end up conceding the match. And get Gatekeeper down to 8 hit points and decide that that's enough. They definitely could have finished it here, so it's a bit odd they didn't concede the match before it, but again, I think they just wanted to get it as close as possible before surrendering and moving on.
I'm right behind you.
Summer Nurgle would be funny. Technically, he was living in the desert for quite a while before he went a little crazy. So, there's that. Let's see. We are on number 5. This time, we go back to your regularly scheduled safe balls, with Gustav, Fjorm, and an Elamine, of course, along with Thor, and the Reagan, and Ashura. Poor Mythics usually makes save balls very hard to deal with just because of how much stat they have access to. Oh, okay, that's good. I actually still haven't gotten around to playing the Golden Route. I know I've seen that there is one, so I'm looking forward to getting back to Triangle Strategy and at least playing through that Golden Route at some point. Hey there, Chrome, welcome to the stream.
I will burn my regrets.
Lakeyorn.
I'm sorry, Lakeyorn. You're very, very good at demolishing Fjorms, but I hate doing that to you. Yep. Well, and without Fjorm guarding them, Corrin breaks Gustav very easily. And Seros pivots forward, which means they don't really have any good options there, and, well, for them at least, losing a couple of units is enough to surrender and move on right away. This match was a very fun one to see. They brought along a very, very cool team, including Miss Marianne, and a Winter Bernadetta, along with a +10 Azura. I'm actually using almost this exact build for mine as a Gale Force option for my Astro Weeks, so it's really cool to see her like this. We've also got this plus 10 Thor. It's actually funny, someone on the Discord was talking about Brazens on Thor, and I actually ended up seeing one in my replays this week. I do think it works really well for her. The extra speed means that she can punch through follow-up denial effects really easily, and Desperation with Bernadetta means that she gets right into a Wings of Mercy range without any problems. We've also got this plus 10 maxed out bonus week Reagan. It's really, really cool. I wish I'd been able to get my own Reagan to plus 10, but she never seems to share with other units I want on the Mythic banners, so maybe someday. And then of course this plus 10 Plumeria, all the way over here. The joint drive attack stacking that she has going here is really, really cool, and being able to just donate 10 attack to anything nearby is a big deal for a Gale Force team. They just take the first turn to get Thor into Wings of Mercy range and get going. We do get to snipe their safety fence, but it's fine. We don't really have an engaged team here, and all it really does is make sure that they don't actually start it and get back out of range on that first turn. And then once they have everybody in position, they just smite Thor in and get to work. Even in her bonus week, Ceres is not going to handle this Thor. Honestly, yes, Mira and Nana would be a perfect banner for Reagan to share with, for me. And the Gale Force lets Thor break through Gatekeeper here, without any problems, and then they can wings in and dance, now that Gatekeeper's not shutting down the warp effects. Felix isn't a problem for Thor, effective damage and color advantage. But this is where they start running into problems. While Azura is getting Thor's World Breaker, Ninian's Lantern Breath actually gives her a guard effect, so they don't get a Gale Force for her here. And Marianne attacking Leigharn with Green Feud and Guard both online means she gets absolutely no specials at all to work with. So without their Gale Forces, they don't really have any other options here, especially when Reagan can't reach anybody. So they surrender the match and move on. This one was a bit unfortunate. It's the only loss of the week, so it's the only one that actually kept me away from a rank 1 finish. But they did bring along a pretty cool team here with this Paula, who's also already using a Distant Storm, and Ninja Corrin. The blue feud on Corrin was something I was just very impressed to see, and I figured this was how they ended up beating the defense, with her just sort of being very rude to Felix. Then they have this plus 7 Yuri on the side, and Mythics, Naga, Reagan, and Plumeria. They actually pulled this off really nicely by using Yuri to swap Paula forward and then smite her onto the heavy trap to avoid its effects, which lets Paula go in and take down Gatekeeper, and then Kanto all the way back out of range. The gravity actually backfires here too by making sure that Leigharn has no chance of reaching them, even if they hadn't retreated out of that range, so the safety fence kicks in and nothing happens. This match actually got me to switch my traps around a little bit and put the Hex Trap in the Heavy Trap's place, which actually would have stopped this, because Paula only has 59 hit points, and would have gotten stopped in her tracks when they smited her onto it. And from here it's just very easy for them to start picking the team apart. We don't have near save, so Paula's not going to have any issues picking her targets. And with Corrin out of the way, that means their Corrin can start using her Duo skill to demolish the rest of the team. And from here, nobody can catch them, so they can just take down our first dancer.
I'm going to stop you.
Honestly, Paula's really, really good to have. I'm kind of sad that I haven't gotten more of her. I think I've sparked her twice, actually. No, I take it back. I sparked her once, and the other one I sparked no. But I'm really glad to actually have her back, since my first one went to Plumeria for that dual skill. Just pulls on back. Felix isn't going anywhere here, not without support. They can just take their time moving in to finish him off. It's funny that they had to use Paula to soften him up a bit first, though.
Step aside.
It's always good to rebound from a failed defense with a successful one. This one was neat to see. I haven't actually seen very many Nanas on an offense team yet. Deflect's an interesting idea for her. I don't think it's the best idea, since usually she's going to obliterate anything she attacks into, and she's not going to be enemy facing very much with this build. I've also got this Chrom, along with their save armor pair of Idun and Fiorum, with an Elamine to back them up. I don't think this deflect magic is supposed to be here. It's a bit of an odd pick for Elamine. And they just get going right away. Move in to start tanking. Unfortunately, we've kind of seen this one before, and it doesn't end very well for Fiorum.
I will burn my regrets.
Even if she does come pretty close to one-shotting Lycaon on the counter. I've actually had to try working in some extra defense for Lycaon's kit, specifically to handle Fiorum's. In some of my testing, I've actually had my Fiorum one-shotting Lycaon pretty consistently, so Fury helps a lot with that. Yep, and losing their armors was enough for them to surrender that match and move on. This one was another really fun match to see, since it was the first time I've seen a Summer Claude on an offense team. And this one is about as maxed out as you can get. It's very, very impressive. I don't think he's using an AR-focused build here, especially with the double rally on the Legendary Claude. I think these are more of arena builds than anything else. It's a bit odd, but I don't think it really slows him down too much. Hey there, Shadow. Welcome to the stream. And of course, an Elamine to... I'm assuming Elamine's mostly here to shut down any hardy fighter armors that they run into, which is completely understandable. We also got Ashura and a level 37 Plumeria. Bit odd there. And this Ashura also has me thinking that they have their arena kits equipped instead of their actual combat ones. But it's still really impressive to see these Claudes. I was actually really hoping to get a couple of Claudes while summoning on this banner myself. Sadly, I did not find very many Claudes. I found one Claude, and he's minus attack, so I don't know if I'll be using him too much. Yep. They send Claude into Felix here, and combat goes fine. He's not really going to get much done either way, but if it's not enough for the Summer Claude to actually punch through Felix, especially since he doesn't actually get his Frozen Delight online thanks to Distant Defense 4, and the fact that Felix has absolutely no combat debuffs on him. Even though he does get Fallen Starred, it doesn't help to enable the quads, so it's not really possible for them to break through this. And that brings us to the last two replays. And the Henriette. It's honestly really interesting to see invested Henriettes showing up regularly. I don't know what started it, but she is a very effective red Farsave tank, and we don't have too many of those, even though we did just get Edelgard, and I do think she's going to make a pretty solid Farsave armor. She isn't ranged naturally, so you do have to sacrifice an ace slot for distant counter to make that work. They've also got Idun with her, and they brought along the double staff support of Fiorum for Isolation and Elamine for False Start, along with Reagan and Plumeria for the extra 2 mythics. They do have a Bolt Tower that doesn't get sniped here, so I was a little curious that they ended up going for this strategy instead of something more player phase oriented. And they just go in right away here. And sadly, even with the guard and everything that I've put together for Lakearn, including the extra support from Minion, to make sure she actually gets her weapon online here, it's just not enough. Henriette's pretty solid. Corrin doesn't get in range, but she wouldn't have been able to punch through Henriette here anyway. Which is why I was a little surprised they even bothered having Reagan go after her. It doesn't hurt, and I guess it's the only thing Reagan can really go after safely. So they just reassemble their formation and get going. Unfortunately, Fiorum can't isolate Ninian, and Felix, even with a very defensive kit, still has enough speed to double Henriette and get an Ignis on that count on that second swing. And since they can't isolate Ninian, she can move into Dance Zone, and that second Ignis is a little bit too much for Henriette to survive.
Here, take this.
I'm so sorry, Sharena.
Go!
Yeah, it's some good points there. And honestly, she's just very solid. Always has been. Distant Defense 4 has always been really, really strong as an ace slot for any Farsave tank. If I'm honest, I'd actually really like to get Distant Defense 4 for Fiorum at some point. I think even if the defenses don't really contribute too much to it, it would also be really good for her to shut down specials against a couple of problem units, like Lakearn specifically, but also for things like Chrom, who actually threatens her a lot more with an active attack buff than he would otherwise. Yep. And losing their Henriette there was enough for them to surrender. They could have definitely finished this off, but it is nice to see people being polite and using their ladders. Alright, then we finish the week off with an Altina squad. Not featuring the newest Altina, but they have both of the others. Along with a Lucina to help support them and give them breath. Yellowmine, Maria, and Reagan. A lot like the last two, they move in right away here, and try to let Altina just Vantage Sweep her way through this. It's a bit of a risk, I think. And Corrin just moves in to knock out Lucina. Rally Forward does a lot for letting her access backline targets like that, especially without a Farsave. And while Lakeyarn doesn't get to one-shot Altina thanks to the damage reduction from Elamine,
Disgrace leaves a
she's
brand.
also a little too bulky for Altina to finish off, especially
But how?
without being able to get that Twin Blades off. So, it's an easy enough knockout, and losing those two is enough for them to move on. Yeah, it was a pretty good week overall. Like I said before, it's great to see the defense holding up this well, and I'm pretty happy with it. Probably not going to make any changes to it for the next Anima season. I do want to see it again without Sarah's being a bonus mythic, since those extra stats do a lot for helping her survive anything that tries to just melee sweep, even if it doesn't always help. Alright, so now we get to start brainstorming a little bit for Chaos. I'm a little concerned, honestly, with Chaos for defenses. I don't really expect any defense to have a high success rate in this coming week. I think there are just way too many offense options. And I'm still not sure if I want to use Eldgan or Altina for my defense. I'm pretty set on this layout. I think that Florina should be a really interesting addition to a defense team. She really opens up the options that the rest of her team has to attack. And I'll be honest, if I wasn't so absolutely convinced the defense is going to get pummeled either way, I would be using the Eldgan version of this. It'll be interesting, though. Very, very interesting. I do appreciate that I don't have to worry about blessings this time around. Switching blessings is always a bit of a pain, and I don't like using them en masse, so... yeah, this first Chaos season's going to be interesting. Especially since, well... honestly, I'm looking forward to it specifically for the offense side of things. And the offense side of things is going to be a lot of fun. I've got ideas for this. So, obviously, when blessings don't matter and you can use any unit you want, you can use mythics, and that includes defense mythics. See, actually, that's something I'm very curious to see. I don't know if we're going to be playing in the Vault of Heaven bracket next week. Mostly because the cap for lift gain for these teams is 130. And I don't see that being enough to stay in the Vault of Heaven for anybody this coming week. I think everybody's would take enough losses during the week for that to not be enough to stick. But yeah, the team building options for offense are really fun for me in Chaos. Obviously, I'm going to be using Hel because I used her once already as a bonus week during Light Season, and now that I have an excuse to use her without actually suffering penalties for deploying her at all, she's definitely on the roster. So, let me fix her build up though. This team's going to use her as a melee specialist, so she doesn't need to worry about running Miracle, since she's not planning to tank mages. And she can use Unity. I think I'm actually going to keep Mystic Boost for her Beast slot, and give her Life and Death. The extra stats should help a lot, and also make it a lot easier for her to soak Bright Shrines, if there are any. Fjorm... I'm a little torn on Fjorm's Seal here. Actually ended up switching to a form skill for her to just give her a little bit of extra speed after some testing of defenses earlier this week. But I think the Mystic Boost might end up being more valuable overall. That or Deflect Magic, but I don't think Deflect Magic is going to be as big of a requirement since the team also has access to Elamine. This is about the build I'm going to use for her, although I did, after seeing what we got in the Hall of Forms, remember that I had a spare Sarah that I could give Elamine, and I think the reposition should help a lot more than Nudge in more situations, even if Nudge has been pretty useful. The reposition effect's just too strong. And I think I was going to give Lilith Smite on this team. Smite's just always good to have. Yeah, Lilith can keep the catch, and we're going to give her Tech Speed Link, and probably just Drive Speeds. An extra 6 speed is really useful, especially when you're counting on that speed for null follow-up. Honestly, Lilith specifically has been such a great pickup. I'm really, really glad I managed to find her on the Fallen banner. She works with so many units, it's great. And of course we need a bonus unit, so Azura is a Book 1 unit, and this one happens to be very highly invested. I don't think I'm going to keep Wings of Mercy for her, even if it works really, really well with Hell. Because Sudden Panic is just too good of a support option. Hey, Darting Blow 4 is a free pickup from Garruk, and Garruk has been considerate enough to pity break me many, many times. He can afford to teach people how to use Sudden Panic and Darting Blow 4 at the same time. There we go. I think it might end up being a little tricky to actually secure a bonus unit knockout with this team, but overall I think I'm pretty happy with this one. Anytime I get a chance to use Hell on an offense match in AR is going to be fun times. Also planning to use Claude. He's been just really, really strong for me overall. Yeah, Speed Smoke 4 is it's really, really good. My only problem with it is that there are not many people who can actually use either Dive Bomb, and you can't. You can if you have spare Liars, which I think she should be showing up again on Friday's Double Special Hero banner. If you have spare Liars, you can at least get the Catch 4. But it's hard. There are not many units that actually want either Catch or Dive Bomb as well as Speed Smoke who don't already have Catch or Dive Bomb. So it's tricky. The Claude Squad is definitely a good option to have, I think. I think Florine is going to use Luna on this team, along with her native Trace. Drink Drive Speed should be good, although she could probably get away with Goat Flyers as well. Well, this gives her some options for her own stats, which, since she is the bonus unit on this team, being a little selfish is fine. Lorena is also going to be... I'm glad she showed up when I was pulling for her. I just wish that she'd showed up a little sooner. I wasn't planning to spark on that banner, but it works out. I am planning to work her into my defenses too. The Super Guidance being available in every season is just really, really useful. And of course, Harmonic Catria, everybody's favorite unit, depending on where you see her and when. I am actually. She is on, I think it's the next team that I was brainstorming. And Thor who is going to be using a Gale Force build on this team, as well as Smite. I don't think I'm going to bother with Fury on this one, since we're not really planning to use Wings of Mercy to get around. Oh, it has. I will go check that out in just a moment. I do think, though, that she is going to use Dive Bomb. Just because the idea of Thor quadding before someone can actually land a hit on her is... it's a fun thought. It's a fun thought. Yeah, we'll give you some speed. You know, actually I might end up using Fury for her anyway. The extra speed is nice. And it's only sacrificing 1 point of attack. Okay, and you've already got your Goad equipped. I'm going to give you Flyer formation as well. There's always a chance when using Catria teams on offense that your positioning doesn't actually let you get everybody in range of Catria. So having someone who can still warp using their own skills is actually really helpful. Chill Defense should do, since we already have the Drive Attack seal. Okay, I think I'm happy enough with that. And of course, Ashe in Chaos Week. This team is actually pretty much the same as my usual Light Season Beast Force squad, which, again, I'm bringing some familiar teams over just because they've done very well, and I see them doing pretty well here too. And of course, Valoria support means that lull is not a thing we have to worry about, which is fun. The extra Rings of Mercy for Valoria helps her a lot too, just for getting in range of whatever she wants to go in on. Although it might not be as necessary when we also have Florina here to... She should use Moonbow on this team. Let's see. Oh, and I wanted to give Valoria Smite here as well, since losing that 6th slot means that... Oh, she has it already, good. But yeah, losing that 6th slot means that it's a bit harder to work in some of the usual tech choices, like Smite. And of course Edelgard. Not using Summer Edelgard here specifically because warping to Florina it means that she's not solo and doesn't get that Raging Storm. But it's still definitely worth considering since she can still very easily get a Gale Force just by using Heavy Blade. Summer Edel is great. Just for the record, I am looking forward to using her quite a lot. Quite a lot. Oh, and you do not need Goad Flyers. There are no Flyers on this team to Goad. Wings of Mercy is good. Point Drive Attack, and probably just a normal Drive Attack. Oh, or Aerobatics. Which, if I'm being honest, I don't think Aerobatics is necessary, since Ashe and Florina on the same team should have some absolutely hilarious shenanigans as options. It's gonna be silly. It's gonna be silly. Okay, let's go check out this new Chaos background for AR. Oh my. Okay. We are officially going into Chaos Week. I don't know if anybody's defenses are actually ready for this. I've seen some very, very neat ideas, though, on just my friends list defenses. So, we'll see. We will see. Wait, no. Where are we going? Special teams. And, of course, definitely want to use a Kronya squad. Garnef, okay, so with Kronya, my biggest problem is actually the 5-unit limit, and the fact that I need to use a bonus unit that isn't Kronya or Garnef. Yeah, sure I can. Let me finish locking this team in, and then we'll go take a look. Right, Garneth I think was going to be using Smite here, along with Glimmer's fine, attack speed solo, Savage Blow, and Poison Strike. Where's Poison Strike? There you are. So, I had a few ideas for pairing with Kronya for this week. I wanted to use Duma, I wanted to use Takumi, and I wanted to use Garneth. There's not quite enough room to fit all of them on the team, and that's mostly because I think that Elamine is a requirement for it. Wait, why is it 120? Oh, because okay, I think this actually tells us whether or not we're in the vault right now. Because it was 130 about 15 minutes ago, and now the max is 120. So that means that we don't get that extra 10 for a flawless win anymore. So yeah, I think everybody is just going to get kicked down into, I don't know, maybe tier 1 for the start of this, and we'll all just be in one giant messy matchmaking pool. Okay, that's interesting. This is actually a neat thing to spot. So I think I am going to adjust you and give you Savage Blow. Moonbow is fine. Elamine, yep, that's exactly what you're going to use. And Azura. Yeah, I do think I'm going to stick with Azura here. Mostly because this Azura has a lot of fun tech choices to work with, and crossbow attack is just really good for support for Kronya. Oh yeah, I think everybody is going to have an interesting week in Chaos Season. Okay, now this last team is actually kind of an open slot. I'm not sure yet what exactly I want to do with it. My first thought was actually to take advantage of Zeros, because Wings of Light is not something you get a chance to use very often, but this isn't limited to being on a defense team. So you can use her on offense, or in summoner duels as well, and actually get a lot of value out of that skill. Especially since I also have an even pulse tie for her. And I think I was going to go with HP Res and a Res Ploy. At least if I'm going with something similar to the team that I'm looking at here. Oh, and you can grab Smite. So the idea I was thinking here was use Zeros for map-wide combat buffs, and use that to back up Ashura and a save tank. And I remembered at some point that Duma was in fact a mythic armored unit. I think he's actually still our only one. It's a very interesting, honorable place to hold the roster of mythics. I wonder if we're ever going to see another one. I'd actually really like to. Duma's a lot of fun, actually, especially after his remix. This refine does a lot of work. And part of what I was looking at with Duma specifically ended up just being turning him into a vantage tank. So I'm going to leave Upheaval here for now, even though I would probably replace it if I end up using him on the team. And give you just all of the attack in the world. So we're going to hold the thought on Ashura and just put Duma in here before I go check out Solar's defense. Yeah, it's one of those... Team building for Chaos Defense is so hard because there are just so many options for offense that you just literally can't cover everything anymore, and it's going to be interesting. So you probably want swap. And right, if we're not using Ashura, then we definitely want the attack, and give you a drive attack too, maybe? Or maybe just... that's right, because I was also thinking of putting Hilda on here. So, the basic idea with this team is that Duma is just going to tank a hit, since he does get a chunk of damage reduction from his weapon, as long as he has an attack stat higher than his opponent's. Oh wait, no, the damage reduction is just as long as he has someone within 2 spaces, which is a very easy condition for him to meet. And then, if we add in... Where is Hilda? Hilda, there you are. If we add in a Duo Hilda, that gives him sort of a half-breath effect, along with a lot of extra attack support. There we go. So, this is just sort of very experimental. I'm not sure. I actually ended up seriously considering giving Duma a save skill. I don't know yet if I'm going to. It's a bit of a commitment, but he will be available to use in every offense side of Chaos Weeks going forward, so it might not be a bad investment if he ends up being a solid unit. So, let me go check out Solar's defense. I think you said there was a bug that you wanted me to look at? Oh yes, okay, wow, so right here, this will tell you exactly what you need to know about Chaos Season. Everybody is starting at 0 lift again. Fun. Oh, it just had to be on the week they were cycling back to Infantry Flowers, didn't it? Oh, no. Ah. Okay, so Solar... Wait a minute. Solar, you might have the wrong defense set for your Chaos Week. I don't think this is the defense you meant for me to take a look at. Oh, there it is. But you're missing people. That's weird, actually. I wonder why. I should check mine. Let's see. Okay, mine's actually giving me 6, so... Let's see. Yeah, it hasn't updated. Solar had a very cool defense setup, though. I was using it just as a sort of wall to bang my head against for team building. And I'm actually kind of sad that this bug's going on, because I was going to show just how ridiculous Duma gets with this setup. Let's see. I wonder if the rest of my list is like this. Oh, it is. Oh my. Everybody's got 4 units on their setup. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this could end up going very badly for everybody. Let's see. I'm pretty sure your in-game name is Almiron too, right? I'm not going to know where anybody is here. Hey, there's Koi. That is, I wish I could convince myself to pull more on this summer banner, I really do. This summer banner has been one of my favorites in a very long time. All the art is just so great. Let's see. Where is Myron? Oh, there you are. This is you, I think. Wait, is it? I'm not sure. Is that you? Yep, there are only 4, and yeah, I'm pretty sure this is you. I recognize this Claude. This Claude is spooky. check the Discord. I haven't actually gone poking around in there since the stream started. Okay, nothing too new there. Alright, well, that's unfortunate, actually. I remember running into this Seegard. This is... this is quite the Seegard. It's always fun to see people's lead units, really. There's some very, very cool units out there. Oh no! Oh no, that would make sense, and that's also horrifying. That means everyone's just going to... Oh. Wait, does that mean that we're limited on offense too? Because I remember that you couldn't actually use more than... I think it was 4 units in Tier 1 of AR on offense. Oh, wow. I might need to reshuffle all of my offense and defense team building. Well, you know what? Let me adjust this, and I'm going to put Yune all the way at the front so that she's definitely getting deployed. Let's see. Okay, let me give you your distant guard. Yeah, I would definitely recommend everybody consider doing this if you have a Yune, is just put her right in the front slot and make sure that she gets deployed. At least for the first day, even if you switch up your defense after that. Oh really? Oh okay, hold on. Wait, let me actually go into a battle. Oh, okay, so if you go and test someone's defense, it doesn't... Yeah, it's still there. Not ideal. Not ideal. I wonder if this still ends up working. This probably still ends up working. I'm going to do this just because it was very silly to see.
Witness my strength.
Because apparently Duma is a very, very spooky man. Let's see. I'm curious. Okay, here comes Byleth.
Here is something to believe in.
Oh, not quite.
First for me.
Not quite. Yeah, Medias, you're not outrising that. I'm sorry. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Hang on a moment. Okay. Technical difficulties. Sorry. Hang on just a minute. Oh, almost back. One moment. Why is it being glitchy? I had this happen once while I was testing, and it fixed itself pretty easily. There we go. Hey, we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, the Duma with Vantage seems like he might be a very, very silly option. As long as you can stop him from actually wiping out the entire enemy team, which could be a problem. I'm also thinking of, oh, wait, of course, I was in the middle of doing this, but I was also thinking of using Brave Ike or Legendary Corrin as a bonus unit, since I do have them both pretty much maxed out, and I do like using them both, so it would be fun to give them some time in the bonus unit spotlight. Let's see, and I did have you as an follow-up and Pulse Smoke. Wait, what else did I give you? Oh right, Form. Hmm. Yeah, the attack and speed is fine. Okay, and Corrin. Oh, also, I think I mentioned on the Discord earlier this week, but my Winter Lysithea manual disappeared under mysterious circumstances earlier, and yeah, found a home with Corrin. Okay, and Florina. I had to talk myself into giving Florina impact. I really would like to see if I can make her work on a defense, since she fixes a lot of the problems that my Dark Defense was having over the last couple of weeks, which is mostly just the lack of threat range, which lets people set up very close to the front line. Florina doesn't give you that much wiggle room, since the super guidance means everybody can have much easier access to you. Yeah, no, my Corrin is quite spooky. I'm quite proud of her. She's, I like her quite a bit. I'm very, very glad that I was able to get her capped out on the Hero Rises banner. Let's see, and you want aerobatics. There we go. The Yune, on the other hand, it's a bit of a missed opportunity, I think. If they had managed to time this week of chaos for right after Yune got her remix, that would have been perfect. I would have loved it. I would have absolutely built a team around her. As is, well, she'll be a backpack, I guess. Okay, I think everybody's skills are locked in, so let's do this. Switch you with Yune. And I'm going to try and make sure that we keep probably the most threatening units on the team, no matter what. And now we fix everybody's positions. There we go. Okay. Yep, and this way, even if for some reason this glitches out and we aren't able to use 6 units on a defense for the coming week, I'm not going to lose too much lift right away. Although, to be honest, if we're only allowed to use 4 units on the defense, I don't think I'm really going to bother building anything crazy. I'll just set up 4 units for a freebie with Yune and let people have at it. Okay, so let me rethink this just a little bit. We're going to switch you and make sure Florina stays in. And just gives Corrin a little bit more reach. I don't know. I think that a 4-unit team is just going to get shredded no matter what you put together. Let me fix this up too. Okay, Altgun is still fine, so everyone else should also be fine. We're going to put... Oh wait, I guess on this one it doesn't really matter, huh? Well, I think I'm still going to make sure that Corrin and Florina are in. I'll probably keep Gatekeeper. Oops. No, I should keep Garnef over Gatekeeper in here. There we go. Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Okay, there we go. I was also thinking of using this setup just for a slightly better reach for Gatekeeper's warp bubble, but I don't like offering people defense tiles. IS might be a little bit distracted by 3 hopes right now, but... Ooh, thank you, Stormy. Honestly, I'm looking forward to going through all the Xenoblades again. It has been a while since I played Xenoblade 2. I've actually played the Definitive Edition more recently than Xenoblade 2. Because, you know, the Definitive Edition came out after Xenoblade 2, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Mostly looking forward to Xenoblade 3, but just going back through all of the stories and everything in those games, that's going to be fun. They're the sort of games that I think I can, if I sat down and just talked through them, I could probably tell you every major story beat of both games. But it's nice to go back and refresh yourself. It's like reading a good book. Just go back and refresh yourself every now and then and just remind yourself why exactly you love it that much. So yeah, thank you to everyone who tuned in. I actually wasn't expecting to go quite this long with the stream. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully you're looking forward to some of the stuff we'll be streaming over the next couple of months. I am sorry for shortening the AR videos in the future. I should mention that I will probably try to make sure the Chaos Offense video is its usual full length, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to have enough time to manage the full length videos the way I usually do if I'm going to be streaming as much as I'm planning to. So let me know too if you enjoyed the live streamed defense replays instead of or compared to the usual just normal video version. It's something I've been thinking about doing for a while, and if people like it, I will switch over to doing that instead. Ooh, actually, since it is already half an hour past reset, we should be able to pick up rewards. Let's get these. Yeah. Red and Blue Week is always fun. I am not... if we only get the Tier 1 rewards for this next week of AR, I'm going to be a little annoyed since it was going to be a heavy Red Flower week. Oh, yeah, that is a mood. There are so many good games these days, it's a good problem. It's just finding the time to actually play all of them. It can be hard. And Allegiance battles. Yay. Rewards, rewards, rewards. Okay, but yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed the replay stream, let me know. I wouldn't mind actually switching over to that format. Yeah, I think that's about it, though. If you've got any questions, comments, just let me know. I always check out the comments sections in the videos, so yeah. It's always great to see people tuning in, and honestly, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and maybe the offense teams give you some ideas of your own. I don't know what's going on with the defenses. I hope that we aren't actually being locked to 4 units, because that might not be so good for anybody's defense, but I guess we'll see tomorrow. Yeah, lots of stuff to look forward to. The first Three Hopes stream should be starting on Thursday, just as a reminder for anybody who's interested in that. So yeah, should be starting about this time, actually, on Thursday. And I'll probably stick to the same starting times for every stream going forward. Except maybe for these, because I can't do defense replays if I start after the reset, so yeah. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been great to have you here, and I hope you've enjoyed the video, and look forward to the next one. I'll see you next time.